Sit comfortably. Eyes gently closed. Observe your body, breath, the fleeting thoughts. Be a witness to all this. Recognize yourself as the higher force above all these. Filling ourselves with total compassion and gratitude. Palms together in Namaskara Mudra. Starting prayer all together. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. With few blinks, blink open your eyes. Suprabhatam, welcome all. Over to you, Raghuramji.
The Shanti mantra for this Upanishad, Isha Upanishad, is this same mantra, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avasishyate. A very simple translation of this. Adaha Purnam, Purnamadaha. That is full, that is complete. Idam Purnam. This is also Purna. This means the manifest word. Purnat Purnam Udachyate. From this Purna itself evolved this Jagat called as the Purna. Purnasya Purna Madaya, even though the Purna comes out of that Purna, what remains behind is Purna. Purnameva Avasishyate. This is the mantra, and the purpose, goal, idea of this mantra is Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. These three Shantis that are there. So let us look into this mantra, particularly several words that are used very specifically in this mantra. Let's try to understand that. The first thing is that the very purpose of this mantra looks that there is no two centers for creation. That means to say origins of creation are not true. There is only one origin of creation from which everything has come. That origin that you call it as God, you call it as anything, that's also fine. People have called it with several names and all that. But then there is only one source. That is the idea. And in this Upanishad, he calls it as that. Now there is a meaning behind. There is a purpose why he calls it as that, Purnamadha. One thing is that that does not mean that it is too far away. In fact, the way it looks like that, it looks like it is so far away, somewhere up in the heaven, something like that. Why did he not call it as he or she or God, something like that? There is a reason behind it. The reason behind it is this way, that how the God concept has come is basically that for a child is actually neutral when he is born. He is neither a theist nor theist or anything like that. He doesn't have anything. But one who is in front of him is extraordinary, is his father. Because he looks for everything towards the father. Many times even says, the mother also says, wait till dad comes. So dad seemed to be that most powerful person. He has all solutions. He has everything in front of him. That's why the image of dad in the case of a child is something which is gross. That means that which is big. And all solution, everything is there, all powerful. In fact, that goes so deep into our system that even till the death, that time, that image that dad is something which is supermost, is something which is there. In the case of a child, as he grows up also, it is there continuously. Only thing is that this dad, which is supposed to be the supreme, so extraordinary, powerful, everything. So he gives the same expression for the God also. Said God is like he, and that he is like a dad figure. And the dad figure means that he solves all your problem, gives everything. So that's how people go to the image of God, idea of God, saying that he gives us everything. Because he gives us everything, he is nice, he is good, he is great. It is also all powerful. So all these things are imperative behind this idea of God. So this is what is the God in the form of a human being. But then slowly what happens is that as the time passes, that slowly that image that God is the supreme most, or the dad is supermost, is something which slowly gets shaken up. He is not important, he is not supreme, he is not great. There is somebody who can threaten him. Especially you could see that his mother herself can threaten God, dad, saying that, hey, don't do that. Wow. And the dad listens to it. So the child's image, the image of the dad in child, already slightly shaken. Then later on, then he sees that God works, this is God, that means his father works for somebody. And in front of his boss, he is there, looks that his dad is somebody who goes running behind him as a servant. So slowly, what happens is that dad is not supreme, somebody else is there, supreme. And then, like the way that the dog wagging his tail behind, running behind the boss, same way. Though the dad does not have a tail, but then you can see the wagging tail. So that's how he runs behind. So therefore, basically, the image of dad slowly reduces and the God becomes supreme. God is different. There are certain societies where the matriarchal, that means say mother is supreme, and there the God is taken as mother. Especially you see that in the eastern part of our country, mother is superior. That's the reason why you see that all the mother images, and even Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he takes the Mother Kali image. And there's another very important thing about this mother is that mother also is full of all these arts, all this fascinating kind of festival, this, that. So therefore, you can see that in the case of Bengal, in the case of eastern part of India, all these arts, all the music, all these things which are supposed to be feminine quality, they all develop. They all develop because it's a matriarchal form. And in fact, the moment that it's a matriarchal, that means the society itself says that mother is superior, then the dad becomes very inferior. In fact, he feels that he cannot do anything. It's a psychological play. I've seen I came across that kind of a society where the mother prominent society, the lady prominent society, there used to be some tribal people. And then the tribal ladies will come and distribute the milk in the houses there. And then the man will come and distribute the food, milk in the houses. He does not know how much milk he is giving, how much it costs, and how much money he has to collect. On the money collection day, that lady will come. And lady will come and ask the man that how many days you did not give milk in this house? Because, out of 30 days, he says 4 days, 5 days. And then she will not ask him, how much does it cost? She will make calculations. And very often her calculations are wrong. But she is so strong that she convinces that she knows the calculations, he doesn't. And then she collects the money. So it's a very peculiar thing. In fact, I've seen that in our project area. That lady will come, collect the money, and then convinces the man that he does not know that she knows about it. All that used to play. It is matriarchal society. There the God is mother. In fact, in the matriarchal societies, when you go to see that, God is also mother. But then Upanishad takes a different view. This is where at the Puranas level that we have the God to be father and a mother. And sometimes even the guru, teacher is a God. So like that, there are so many ideas are there. But in this concept of God as a guru, God as father, God as a mother, there is always that duality is existing. Without the duality, it cannot exist. Like for example, father is there because the son is there. And for the son, father is superior. And in fact, you can see that in the primary school children, they will be discussing, they will be arguing, my dad is great, my dad is great. Like that children will be. No, your dad is actually working under my dad. Therefore, your dad is not great. My dad is great. And this child feels so hurt about that. And he goes to the mother, says that, that fellow says that dad works under him, therefore he's inferior. No. Mother convinces the child saying that even though he works under him, but he is more knowledgeable than him. That's why he is more important. So therefore, don't worry about it. The child is convinced about it, more intelligent. And that's the reason why, in fact, your dad works for him. That's how he exists. All these ideas are essentially to show that how that the dad becomes important. And my dad is important. The same, my dad is transferred onto the God. And then later on, all these religions are born. So therefore, they keep fighting. My God is superior than your God. Because my God is more important. He is capable of doing this. He is capable of putting you to hell. So all kinds of details are there about this God. Upanishad does not take the view God as dad or a father or a mother figure. It's all at the Purana level. So without this, you cannot have a connection. Like, for example, the West, they have removed this idea of God as a father and a mother. Therefore, that they created all is nothing but energy. It's all energy. Ultimately, it is the energy which is the matter. Electricity is the energy, and electricity means actually it is all the electrons and protons, neutrons. It's all energy. This way, by saying energy, what happens is the most important component of it, the consciousness is lost. And you become superior to the energy. So you put yourself at a higher level. Either you put yourself at a higher level because your consciousness, if you accept that, or otherwise, if you don't accept their consciousness, there is another danger that happens is that you are also nothing but a piece of energy, nothing beyond that. The humanness of a human being is lost. There is no question of humanness that is involving in that. So these are the dangers that has taken place. And these are all only basically the image that we created, not that reality or anything like that. This is how we assumed. But then later on, what happened is that this is continuing at the religions level. But Upanishad is something which is higher than that. And Upanishad has given the idea that God is that. That means to say it did not give any relationship. The moment that becomes that means what can we have relationship? If it's a dad or a mom, you can have a relationship. Father or mother, you can have a relationship. But with the question of that, there is no relationship. Only thing is either I possess that, or if it is too big, then I can't possess it. It is there. Like for example, a hill is there. It doesn't belong to me. An ocean is there. It cannot belong to me. A small little bottle can belong to me. A small little house can belong to me. See, that means to say, if it is small, it can come under my possession. If it is not small, then it cannot come under my possession. So this is how essentially that cannot be having any relationship with the human being. So that is why the Upanishad uses the word called as that. In fact, there's a very famous statement. This is what is the most important Mahavakyas, that is Tattvamasi. Tat means that. Asi means is, and Tvam means me. Then the Tvam is a short form, and Tat is the Brihat form, big form. So Tattvamasi. The same thing here also, he uses that. That means basically Tat. And what is the way that Tat he says? Purnamadaha. That means Adaha is Purna, fullness. This is what Upanishad gives the idea. Purna in this sense, now I said that when you say dad, mom, it is my God, it is my father, it's my mother. So therefore that it can always relationship with me. That's the reason one says that your God and your father is so and so, but my father is different. You can't expect that I should follow the same father that you said. It is different. But the moment when you say Tat, replaced by father is replaced by Tat or mother is replaced by Tat, then Tat belongs to everybody. It belongs to everybody. So therefore, the moment you say Tat, it belongs to the whole universe. Not only that, it is not only that human being, but in all forms. This is what Vivekananda said. If a dog thinks of a God God thinks of a big dog. In fact, that is what happens to all of us also, that our God is our own imagination. A Hindu God will have a Hindu face, and that's why we have the skin color is supposed to be Shama. That's why our Krishna is Shama, Rama is Shama. So because we value that. Whereas where it is the white people and their God is white in color, they can't accept a black God. Similarly, it says that if Vivekananda said, if a horse is supposed to imagine a God, and that God image of a horse is like in the form of a horse, not like in the human being. Human being is our imagination. So their imagination is God. So that means to say each species has its own imagination. Each race has its own imagination. Like for example, a Chinese God will have only small eyes, like the Chinese have, almost like a simple line rather than opening. So like that, there is an image that is created by us. That's what is the idea. The moment we say Tat, that means it belongs to everybody. That is the idea, saying that whatever that is there coming from him, coming from one particular divinity, and that's what is called as Purnam Adaha. Ada is that way. Purna, it is full. Now the idea of Purnam
त्यांनी काहीतरी
Adaha,
दीक्षा घेतलेली आहे त्याच्यामुळे त्यांनी पण साधना करतात असं आहे.
wow.
Go ahead, Raghuramji. I have
Oh,
noted everyone. Yes.
Purnam Adaha, Purnamidam. Now, when they say Purnam Adaha, that means that is full, which means what? That means you can't add anything to that. You can't add anything to it. And why this concept has come, cannot add anything to it. It is same way. It is very simple thing that you can see. The rivers come and go into merge into the ocean. And particularly in the case of monsoon, that you can see how many rivers will go and merge into the ocean. In the summer, all these rivers are dry. But then in spite of the fact that the rivers are full, overflooding, and then go to the ocean, all these things might happen, but it can never change the ocean. That's why it is called as Purnama. We have in front of us the example of this Purna, which is supposed to be the ocean. And all the rivers merge and it becomes the same thing. That is, and this analogy is used in several places also. In fact, in one of the Upanishad mantras, this analogy used this way, that Apuryamana Machala Pratishtham. That's what in the Bhagavad Gita uses. Let all the rivers come and join the ocean. Achala Pratishtham, Samudra Mapaha Pravishanti Yadvat, Tadvat Kamayam Pravishanti Yadvat, Nakama Kameti Saka. So therefore, basically, Krishna also uses that in Bhagavad Gita as an analogy, that it does not change. A yogi is somebody, all these things, that the Kama Pravishanti, all those things come, it will not change. So Purnatva is the nature of the creation itself. Nothing can change it. And it is there. That's why it is called as Purnamadaha. It is the fullness, its completeness. You cannot add anything to it. And another thing is that this Purna that is there in the form, and this creation is also Purna. Purnam, Purnamadaha, Purnamidam. Idam means this. This means actually manifest world. It has so many things that are there, but it is Purna. The very beautiful expression. That means even this is also complete in itself. There is nothing you can add to it. Nothing you can find fault with this. Nothing you say that is not complete, therefore I have to improve that. God has made this world but then it is not complete. Therefore, he should have taken me as his advisor. I could have advised him properly so that he could not have created all those things, because we find fault with this world. And yes, naturally, that we find fault with this world, saying that why so many people are dying, why so much bad is there, why so much. All these questions come up because basically that we assume God is supposed to be good, God is supposed to be not killing, He's creating birth and everything. So we only have taken one side of it. In fact, the moment in the manifest world, it always comes with opposite of it. It's not just one, it is opposite. Both these things are there. Day is there, night is there. One season is there, other season is there. So you keep changing. And this change itself is the nature of the Purnamidam. That means the change is the nature of this creation itself. What's the main difference? When both these things do not exist, when there is only one thing, Purnamadaha, then that is just being. There is no change in that. It's only living. Change happens when outside of it something is there. Whereas here there is no outside at all. Boundary happens where outside the boundary something is there. Actually, please understand that boundary is not created by an object. Boundary is created by the outside the object. Where the object is not there, that's where the boundary is created. We think that the boundary is created by the object. No, boundary is created where the object is not there, outside. Brahman, there is nothing outside. So therefore that you cannot create any boundary. Because the very fact that we say that Brahman, it's all inclusive. Everything comes out of it. There is nothing which does not fall under that. There is no place where Brahman is not there. Therefore, the Brahman is not something which can be defined either by any of these things. So like one thing that can be boundary is that existing and non-existing. Like now it is there, now it is not there. Like for example, the river is there, but suddenly it has become an ocean. Now the river is not there once it is the ocean. So that means now it is there, now it is not there. Both these things have to be there. Day is night has come, night is there, but now the day has come, night is not there. The boundary is created the moment by the other thing comes. Brahman doesn't have any boundary. Therefore, outside the Brahman, there is nothing that exists. Therefore, there is no boundary at all. So, Purnamadaha is that it includes everything. And good and bad, both these things are, birth and death, both these things are include within that. Because that there is nothing outside of it. In fact, you are also the same of it. You are also from it only. That's what Purnasya Purnamadaya. It comes from this. The moment you call that as Purna, means full, and it is everything, which means basically you are also part of that Purna. You cannot be out of it. So you are same from that. Only thing is the difference between you and that Purnatva. Your limited Purna means basically it is for sake of transaction. That Purna has no transaction. That's why it is said very simple way that Purna is the being and this Purna is doing. There is an activity here and there is no place for activity there in that because everything is that. Very simple analogy for that you can think of it is that when the solids are there, then there is boundary. Solid is there, solid is not there. Liquid also there is some boundary, very light, subtle boundary. Moment that you put it in a container, it takes the form of that container, there is a boundary. But the moment you come to the higher, deeper than that, at the level of Akasha, where is the question of boundary? Akasha itself does not have a boundary. Boundary in the sense that, like for example, Akasha means space, and this is the space. I put something in this particular space. I bring some object and put it in the place. Do you mean to say that that object that has come into this place replace the place somewhere? So the place goes outside saying that I cannot exist here because the object is there? No. The space itself becomes an object. It's not replaced. That's the beauty of the space. Space is that which itself can become an object. There is no boundary for that. So therefore, essentially that even at the space level, there is no boundary. Higher than that is the consciousness when you say, then where is the question of boundary. In fact, space itself is a boundary because it is not, space is not air, air is not water, water is not earth. So that means to say there is boundaries at that level. But when it comes to the consciousness, even that boundary called a space also does not exist. That means to say the consciousness itself has become the space, water, air, etc., etc. It is, that's how the transformation has taken place. So all these things belong to that space, same consciousness. That's the reason why he says that whatever that all pervasive consciousness, what he calls it as Purna Madaha and Purna Midam, this is what is full. Now, fine. Logically, it is very good. It looks very reasonable. And there is no other source from which it comes. That's why Purnasya Purnamadaya. In fact, naturally, whatever that is there, Purna is the Father. Whatever that comes out of Purna is also Purna. It cannot be anything less than that. Very important idea about that is that if I consider myself to be Purna or Brahman to be Purna, I also feel that I am the Purna. If you see that Brahman is Apurna, you are also Apurna. Not only you, but even the other parts of the creation also supposed to be Apurna, incomplete. There is nothing which is incomplete in this creation. Everything is complete in itself. Don't approach the world saying that I am complete and somebody is incomplete. In fact, if you think that you are the body, you look at the world as body. You look at the boundary of a body. You look at the world as a boundary of the body. Whereas the moment you look at the prana, the world is also prana. And the more that you go deeper and deeper, you look at your consciousness, the world also becomes consciousness. This is what Upanishad mantra says. Jivosmiti manana, jiva bhavam apadyate. Mrityu, brahmosmiti manana, brahma bhavam apadyate. The more and more that I think I'm Brahman, then it is the Brahma bhava. The more and more I think that jiva is the jiva bhava. I'm not doing anything for this idea. I'm not adding anything. It is full. Only thing is I enjoy interacting because for interaction's sake, I'm here. It's a very beautiful concept. So let me try to explain this concept in the gross terms. Once Vivekananda happened to go to this temple in Somnath temple, and where he saw beautiful sculptures made out of granite stone, beautifully carved. He went around the whole place, enjoying the whole sculptures and all that. Suddenly he came across a Devi sculpture, so beautifully carved, so proportionately carved. He looked at the feet, and from there he comes to, including the toenails are so beautifully carved. After all those things, he goes up further to the waist. All the dress pleats and all that so beautifully carved, as if that there is cloth. It's not the stone. And then he comes to the waist, and above the waist, you see all the ornaments, lovely carved. But after that, when he comes to the neck, the head is cut off and lying down there. When he saw that, he felt so angry. He said, wow, what happened? And he gets so much emotional. He says, Divine Mother, if I were to be there at that time, giving an idea that he would have protected from this happening. So that's why he said, if I were to be there at that time, immediately as if something hit him on his head, he went into the trance. And Divine Mother appeared to him and said, my dear child, what do you think of yourself? You protect me. You can protect me. If you want to protect, if I want to, do you think you protect me or I protect you? If I want to create, I can create 1,000 Vivekanandas. He became humble. Do the activity, but in a humble way. Not that you're adding something to the divinity. It's Purna. It is complete by itself. You do the activity as if you are interacting with this Purna that's there in the whole creation itself. So Purna Madaha, Purna Midam, Purnat, Purna Mudachyate. It comes from that fullness. Mathematically, it is not acceptable because mathematics will say if you remove one thing from the other, naturally that much is reduced. That much less is there. The moment something comes out of it, whatever remained behind is not Purna anymore. Yes, that's what is our explanation. nor you can add anything. By doing something that you can add anything, you are making it better. So this is what you think that, yeah, I accept God is the creator and he created the whole thing. But only thing is that there were some, he would have, his advisors, whoever is there, was not complete. So I could add some little more beauty to it. So therefore I do it. It adds to whatever that is there. A beggar was telling that if I become Bill Gates, if I become rich like Bill Gates, a beggar was talking to another beggar, if I become Bill Gates richer like Bill Gates, I'll be richer than Bill Gates. I said, what do you mean by that? If you become like Bill Gates, you'll become as rich as Bill Gates. No, I'll be bigger than that. But what is that? Bigger than, I said, Bill Gates cannot beg. I still continue to beg. So I get extra money over that. So therefore, I'm more than that. Wow. That means you don't leave your limitedness. The whole idea is initially mathematics, in mathematics is Purna. Oh, initially it was not there. Mathematics was always without Purna. Only thing is that when he added this Purna, then it continues. You see, Purnatva is a flow. Meenal, that you said it. Actually, let me little digress and go to the mathematics to explain that. When you look at how the mathematics developed in the world, it developed in the Egypt area and all those things where in the caves they found out that there were lines drawn. That is the count of sheep. And one thing very fascinating thing one could find out is that they draw 4 lines, 4 count of 4 sheep. So why were they doing only 4 lines and crossing it? Actually, it is nothing but a representation of your own palms. Your own hand, normally we count on the fingers. So therefore, 4 lines are supposed to be 4 fingers, and then the cross line is the thumb. So that's how it becomes 4. So 2 palms, so that's why it becomes 10. Another thing, 2 palms is another 10. So, but then the counting has stopped because, and this one, the cross line, they painted as a broad line into a V. A cross line is V. So therefore, you see that Roman counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and then V as a 5, and again V1, V2, V3, V4, and then 2 V's, one below the other, that you put it together, it becomes 10, and the counting has stopped. The counting need not proceed. Only when Indian philosophy came across this particular thing, we had already counting almost like infinite numbers. How they find out? Because the moment it becomes 10, we replaced it with the help of a 0. You know, what is the idea of a 0? That's what is Purna. In fact, even in Kerala, it is called as Pujya. The Purna is this. We call it as 0. It's not Shunya, it is Purna. Purna is the idea. Idea is that it gives rise to once again 1, 2, 3, 4. You see that after that 1, you put the 0, you see that 1, 2, 3, 4 will get a rebirth. Actually, the culture which has got the concept of rebirth have given this idea of 0, which is the Purna. So therefore, the whole concept of Purna comes from the Indian philosophy, so that we give the 0 and then it continues. Otherwise, it would have stopped. The Purna there is a whole number. That means it can repeat itself as a whole number. Of course, later on, these factions have come. But this Purnatva concept has come from the Vedantic concept of Purna. It can repeat itself. That's how what happened. Many repetitions of this Purna is Purna Midam. There are several repetitions. Several Purnas are there here. But each one is Purna. That means to say there is nothing can be added to this. Like for example, particularly it is the case in the case of an animal, you can see that are the flowers and all that. The seed that has got there, you just put the seed in the soil, provide the ambience. The seed has the whole plant in that. The fruits are there, flowers are there, everything is there in that. You can't add anything to it. The only thing is you give an ambience, given a condition which is necessary, it can manifest. Purna is there. So the inside the seed, whatever that is unmanifest level tree is there, it is Purna. Only thing is given an ambience to that, it can manifest that Purna. Same way, even in the case of animals also, birds also, the bird comes out of the egg and then has everything. It just grows up to become a big bird and starts flying. So therefore, everything is, only thing is it has to manifest. Otherwise, the Purnatva is there already, that's there inside. This is what Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo said, that the whole practice of yoga, yoga is to see that the perfection already, the completeness already exists in man, to give a manifestation to that. There is nothing else that we are doing. We give the manifestation to that. That's the idea. So fullness is there, whether it is anything that you take, right from the sun, planets, the sky, everything, right up to the small little plant, Purnatva is there. It's complete in itself. That's why I said that this giraffe gives birth to a giraffe. This is what videos we see that. And the mother giraffe licks the giraffe, little one. And in about 5 minutes, the little one gets up and starts walking, running around. Deer child also gets up and start running. That means it's complete in itself. It doesn't have to do anything to become a giraffe or become a deer, antelope. It is full. So in the nature, it's completely that fullness is multiplying. Purna midam, that means this is complete. Here, everything is complete. It comes up itself. You don't have to add anything to it. You can't make anything to see that a giraffe is created. You can't do anything. In fact, there's a very beautiful little video it is shown that two birds are struggling to come out of the egg. No, sorry, not birds. It is the butterflies were struggling to come out of their pupa. You know, the hard pupa is there outside, and then they try to break it and then come out of it. One compassionate fellow, he said, okay, let me at least help one of those butterflies coming out. So he takes that one butterfly, he takes a nice wonderful scalpel and all that, and then very carefully cuts the skin of that particular pupa and all that. Releases this butterfly, comes out of that. There is other butterfly which struggles itself to come out of that pupa and comes out. Afterwards, he has seen that butterfly, after the struggle comes out, starts flying. But this butterfly struggling because it did not, what he thought to be struggle of butterfly, it's not a struggle, but it actually, it's strengthening itself to see that it's capable of flying. He felt sad about this. He left it to nature, nature let it to be itself, and let it grow by itself so that it can really develop itself. So this is how Purna Midam. You are not doing anything other than whatever that is there, assist in that. You please put the seed, and whatever that is there necessary to assist the plant to manifest out of that seed, you do that. But other than that, the plant, the seed is inside the seed, the whole plant is there, it has to manifest. You only see that you can create an ambience. The nature also, it is something. Purnamidam, Purnat Purna Mudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Avasishyate. What remains behind is the Purna, which means basically this manifest to unmanifest being is Purna. That's why we call it as the unmanifest level itself becomes existence. And it has all the genius in that. That's why it is called as the knowledge. Brahman itself, that Purna itself is existence, knowledge, and the bliss. The third thing is. That's why Satchitananda, we say. Sat is that existence itself. Normally, what happens at the level of manifest world, Purnamidam? In the manifest world, it is existence in one form or the other. Existence in the form of a seed, existence in the form of a tree, existence in the form of a butterfly, existence in the form of a human being, So existence is based on some form or the other. But again, we need to see that whatever that existence aspect of this aspect, this manifest world is there, it's all from that Purna itself. That same existence is something which is reflecting on the manifest world. And the manifest world looks existing because it is reflecting that existence. Like the way an object looks, we look at the object appears in front of us. Actually, you are not seeing the object. The light is being reflected on the object, that's what you are seeing. And the light is not there, there is no object at all. You don't see the object at all. The object is seen because that it is being reflected by the light is being reflected on that. There's one small little nice book where it's about Mr. Anna and God. A story between one little girl, Anna. And then this other is Finn. And the Finn suddenly finds this girl, and then she always have questions. And then he asks this Finn, he's busy doing his work in the workshop and all that. And she comes there, Mr. Finn, I want to ask you a question. And he says, I'm busy now, don't ask me the question. No, I have a simple question for you. No, and whenever you ask a question, you always trouble me, you always disturb my activity. Now I'm busy, don't disturb me, ask me later. No, I have to ask you right now. No, it's not that I have to ask you, I have to tell you. Okay, if you want to tell, then tell and go. Don't eat my head. So he gets irritated, and then he asks, and then she says, Mr. Finn, you cannot see God. Then he says, okay, I can't see God, I'm not interested in seeing God also, I'm interested in my work. So you can go ahead, now you can go back. He said, no, listen to me very carefully. What I said is, said, what is that? No, you said no, that I cannot see God. I'm not interested in seeing. No, when I say you cannot see God, that means nobody can see God. What do you mean by nobody can see? There are people who have seen that. No, nobody can see God. You see, that's why I asked you, don't come and disturb me. Because your questions, your statements are not simple statements. You always extend it. No, Mr. Finn, I know. But then nobody can see God. But the people who have seen God. Seen God, what like? God, like, you see the objects, you see the tree, you see the plane, you see the vehicle, you see these things, you see the car. You mean to say that they have seen the like that? No. Yeah, they have seen it. They have seen God also like that. The car is there, therefore you see it. The curtain is there, therefore you see it. That way they have seen it. Have you understood? Mr. Finn, the car is there even in the night, but you don't see that. Because there is no light, that's why I don't see it. What do you mean by no light and you see it? Car is there, and you said that car is there, so you see it. No, car is there, but then light is there, therefore I see it. Oh, you mean to say that you are not seeing car, but you are seeing the light? Okay, take it that way. How do you see that? During when the sunlight falls on the car and reflects, and that's what you see. So you are seeing the sunlight. You are seeing sunlight when you see the curtain? Yes. Now you understood, you can go. No, but the same sun, you see the red car, and you see the blue curtain, you see the yellow flowers. Why different colors you see? If you see same sunlight, you should see everything in same color. No, this is all physics, you can't understand it. No, tell me, because she's hardly 6 or 7-year-old girl. You don't understand. No, tell me, I can understand it. Sunlight has all these colors. Okay? Okay. Sunlight has yellow color, sunlight has green color, sunlight has blue color. All 7 colors are there in sunlight. Okay. And then when the sunlight falls on the car, all the other colors are absorbed and only the red color is given. Therefore, you see the car as red color. Same thing about curtain. All the other colors are absorbed and the yellow curtain comes out and yellow color. Therefore, you see yellow. Yes. Did you understand it? Yes, I understand it. But Mr. Finn, you should tell me one thing. What is that? Even now I say, you cannot see God. What do you mean by that? The scar, you see red color, that means it absorbs all the other colors. rejects the red color, therefore you see the red color. And the curtain rejects the green color, therefore you see the green. Yes, it's all right, you take it that way. I told you, no, you can't see God. Why? Because God has nothing to reject. There's nothing to reject, therefore you can't see God. God absorbs everything. Not only that, you are the God. God absorbs you also, God absorbs me. Wow. She laughs. This is what is the concept. Everything comes from the divine. But each has its own fullness. Each color is full. Each color is complete. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Avsishyate. What remains is the fullness. In this sense, it is beyond the level of maths. Maths, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 minus 1 is a 1. It's very strict about that math. Math belongs to the intellect level. Math belongs to the world below. And what Upanishad talks about is something which is at a higher level, deeper level. So therefore, Upanishad always comes with an idea what is supposed to be at a deeper and higher transcension. That's the reason why I said, if the moment that you think of God as father and a mother, and wonderful, but it has to have a relationship. It is connected with 1 plus 1, 2 kind of a thing. Where the moment you go to that level, Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, it is at a higher level, deeper level. This transcendence is something which is very important. Transcending the idea is the way that you recognize the whole world. World is nothing but this transcendence. Om Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. Why he started with Om? Because Om also has this component together. We see that Om has got the manifest aspect of it, Om, and the unmanifest aspect is the silence. All that put together is what is one? Om. Om has both these components in that. Then what happens with that is that you live in this world, but in this world you live as Purna, fullness. You're not adding anything in this world, but you're celebrating this world. You're full in that. This Purna also is the way that we recognize all the festivity. It's nothing but a wonderful festivity living in this world. Every moment is fullness. Every moment is completeness. Purnamidam. Purnat Purnamudachyate. Whatever that happens within you, that you see that joy, happiness, celebration, is all nothing but divinity. It comes from that. When you say Purna, it means to say, we have a wrong concept is complete. It's not complete. It's not perfect. These are the things which often people use it. There is nothing like perfection. There is nothing like perfection in this particular thing, because the moment you say perfection, after that, nothing exists. Perfection is the death. Don't look at perfectionistic aspect towards this, but it's something like a flow. River is always flowing. Perfection is like you stop the river, you stop the flow. Let's not stop the flow. This flow is continuous, which is there all the time. You're also part of the flow. In fact, very important thing is that here there is a flow that's going on good, that's going on evil. Both these flows are there, like the river that is flowing. It's up to you to join which flow you are. You have an option to join the good, you have option to join bad. The more and more that you join the good aspect of it, that sustains, that gives joy, that becomes a celebration. So this is how essentially this Purnamidam, Purnamadaha, it is something which is, there is nothing outside of it, therefore it is steady, stable, it is sthiti, and Purnamidam, it is something which is constant in the form of a flow, therefore it is Purnamidam. But this flow is important here. It's not stagnant, it's not steady, but something which is flowing continuously, like the river which flows. And you take a dip in this river, that flow is the manifested world outside. When you accept this world as a flow, manifest world, which has got birth as well as the death. A small little flower, you can see that. Morning it is there, and the evening it is not there. If you hold on to this flower, Then you feel in the evening that you're sad because the flower dies. Flower does not exist anymore. Whereas you rise from the flower to flowering, the flowering is continuously there, season after season, day after day after day, flowering continues. Rise from the level of flower to flowering, then you can see the Purna Midam, Purnatva in this. A child is born and adult and all that, one day dies. Like the way, even its time span is different. A soap bubble lives for a few seconds. A worm lives for a few minutes. A human being lives for a few years. But then one day has to go. What is born has to die. And then one day goes away. Don't hold on to the human being, and don't hold on to the human being. Raise to the level of humanness. That's what's the flow. We do anything activity for the sake of this humanness in the human being. That's what we look at it, which is continuously flowing. It keeps changing, but then the change is a part of this particular Purnamidam. Expression of this Purna, of this existence in itself is this. Do the activity in such a way that you enhance. If you can do this activity as Purnamidam, if you do the activity in the form of Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, then what results for you is Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Then what remains is the peace, only the peace. Now, in this manifest world, there are so many things that are there, existence and also the knowledge. Sambhuti is the existence and the knowledge is Vidya. Several aspects that are given, like the way that sun is also rising and setting and all that. It's the expression that is given, but it's always there. Flow is continuous. When you accept that flow, when you continuity that you see it, then you accept this flow. So that's why it is called as Isha Midam Sarva. Yat kinchu jagat kyan jagat. Continuously flowing. This flow itself is Isha Avasyam. The divinity is there in this world, covered by the divinity. What is the way that you can see that the flow is gone and the divinity exists? And that's what in the next two sutras, in the Isha Upanishad, we come across. It is taken from the Krishna Yajurveda, and the 47, 48 sutras of Krishna Yajurveda use this particular thing. We go with that. So now onwards, we'll get into the Upanishad. We'll see the depth of the Upanishad. As I said, that Upanishad mantras are so deep that each mantra goes really depth in understanding these things. We'll say that in the next class.
Anybody, any questions? Raghuramji, next session onwards, we go verse by verse? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We take the verse
Okay.
and go by the word by verse.
All right.
But as I said, that just Purnamadaha Purnamidam is something reflected in all the verses, future sutras that are given in Isha Upanishad.
Okay.
Okay. So we close the session with the
Yes.
Purnamadaha.
Yes. Sit comfortably. Bring your palms together in Namaskara Mudra. Complete gratitude for this opportunity of knowledge sharing. Let's end the session with Shanti Mantra. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. With your blinks, blink open your eyes. Thank you all. Thank you, Raghuramji.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
See you all next week, next
Thank you,
Tuesday,
sir.
10:30 a.m.